Hello everyone, welcome to day 2 of the Study Abroad Fair Week. Today it's all about nursing and pre-health students, and this is the very first session of the day, Intro to Nursing Study Abroad. My name's Kelly O'Hanlon. I work in the Global Engagement Office as a Global Programs Advisor. I help connect students to study abroad programs, and with me is Geraldine Cam, Assistant Dean for Student Affairs in the College of Nursing. And today we're going to be talking about how to get started thinking about study abroad as a nursing student. We're going to feature some interesting programs for summer 2021. And then we'll let you know about later today different virtual sessions where you can get even more information about semester study abroad. And with that, let's kick it off. I will pass it along to Geraldine.
Great. Thanks a lot, Kelly, and welcome everyone. Feel free to turn on your video. I'd love to see your beautiful faces too. So thanks for doing that and joining us. Some of you I've had the chance to meet, and others I'm sure our paths will cross, but my name is Geraldine Cam, and I serve as the Assistant Dean for Student Affairs in the College of Nursing. So I work very closely with our students that are interested in studying abroad, and I'll talk a little bit about that process and what the coursework looks like too, not only leading up to your abroad semester, but even when you are abroad. So a couple things to note are that all of our students during the freshman year, as you're taking your courses and looking at doing this study abroad, you will need to complete your sociology and anthropology requirement along with psychology prior to you leaving, and I'm going to talk about that here in a minute. So first, what I'd like to do, and Kelly, can you let me share my screen? Is it on? Okay. Kelly, can I share my screen? Okay.
Yes, you should be able to now.
Okay. So what I wanted to do, and I put in the chat the link to the 4-year plan of study for nursing. And so can you guys all see that? Is it showing? Okay. So for some of you, if you are in the dean's office, right outside of my office in the student affairs pod, you'll see pink sheets and there's yellow sheets. And your RSP advisor should have given you these a couple weeks ago. So what I'm really looking at here is the pink sheet, and that's for students who wish to study abroad. And so Kelly's going to go over several different options for you for abroad experiences and what some of those will be like. But if you wish to go for a whole entire semester, the place that it works in our curriculum is to go first semester of sophomore year. So you would go a year from now in that fall semester. But in order to do that, we need to talk about how you stay on track. So what I wanted to do is just walk through this really quick with you and also allow a few minutes for questions if you have anything before I turn it back to Kelly. So all of you are currently taking anatomy and chemistry. You're in RSP, and then it depends on what you're taking for that module core requirement. So if you see this, it outlines it. Some of you may not be in critical issues in math. That would mean you'd take those next semester. But the one thing that we need to make sure, and I try and do this as I do advising, is encourage all of our freshmen for this requirement right here, which is Psychology 201, which is that introductory to psych course, or sociology and anthropology. If you're currently in one of those this semester, I'm going to encourage you to take it next semester as well. Because in order to go abroad for that sophomore year, during this next summer, in order for you to go to abroad, you need to take microbiology, which is a 4-credit-hour class. It's online, but you will take it through Creighton. Also, if you do not have psychology or that sociology or anthropology requirement completed, you need to add that to your summer coursework. So if you can get that done in your freshman year, then it will just be 4 credit hours that you will take through Creighton. And the reason you need to take microbiology is because that is the one science course that all of our sophomores take during that fall semester. But if you go abroad, you're not going to be able to take it. So you take it the summer before you go. And then once you do go abroad, some things to consider. In order for you to go abroad, you need to be a full-time student at the institution and campus that you're at. So full-time status is 12 credit hours and above. So the way that that looks is while you're abroad, you can fulfill some Modus Core requirements. So things to look for are literature, global perspectives in history, and then we also encourage students to take an elective while you're abroad. So you might want to take a language course, or maybe like an art history, something that can give you the perspective of the culture and the country that you're in. And then in addition to that, you will need to take a statistics course where you go abroad. So if you look at those first 4 classes, that gives you your 12 credit hours. Then what you take through Creighton while you're abroad is you take nutrition and you take lifespan development. So you take 5 credit hours online through Creighton while you're abroad. And when you add those 5 credit hours to the 12 at the campus you're at in residence, that will give you a total of 17 credit hours that you will take. Again, in order to do that, you need to complete microbiology and make sure that you have psychology and that sociology or anthropology requirement fulfilled, because those psychology and sociology or anthropology are prerequisites for nutrition and lifespan development. So chances are you've heard this, maybe you've already talked to your advisor a little bit more about this, but those are, as far as planning goes, what it looks like for courses that you need to take prior to going abroad, and then while you're at abroad, you follow that fall semester plan of sophomore year on the pink sheet. And if you want a pink sheet, you can just stop in the student affairs pod while you're on campus, and they're right outside my door. So right now, I think this is a good point to stop. And if there's any questions, let's talk about them as far as the plan of study goes and what it looks like.
If you have questions for Geraldine, feel free to pipe in now or type in the chat.
Does that make sense to everybody then? Okay. And then I know you're going to hear about what all these different opportunities are, but one thing that we'll do is after we come back into session in the spring semester, so it'd probably be in early February, we'll do a joint session with the Office of Global Engagement just to talk about more details with that. And then you will stay in touch with me as well as Global Engagement through the application process. And then once you know where you're going to be going, if that's what you decide to do, there's a course approval process. And so we will actually meet one-on-one. I will look that over with you and approve the courses that you want to be able to have as options to register for when you go abroad. And then you will get your transcripts sent directly to Creighton, to Nick Orsi's attention, and then we will award you credit for those courses that you take. And then your 2 Creighton courses would be completed and part of your transcript as always. So Kelly, that's really all I had right now. If you, and I'll be glad to stop sharing and turn it back over to you.
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you so much, Geraldine. That was so informative. Let me see real quick. Share my screen. All right. So now we're going to be talking about just the basics of study abroad. Now that you know specifically as a nursing student what you need to be doing, what you need to be planning for, I'm here to talk about some featured programs, some requirements to study abroad, and deadlines. As you may know, if you're plugged into the Study Abroad Fair Week schedule, we have a couple of virtual sessions later today that are going to talk a lot about our semester-long study abroad programs that are perfect for nursing, where you can take those required courses like literature, global perspectives, elective, and stats. So today in this presentation, I wanted to focus on some short-term programs, some that run over the summer, some over spring break that could be really cool if you're not really looking for a full semester abroad. First things first, in terms of requirements to study abroad, you do need to have at least a 2.5 GPA, and that's Creighton's requirement for anybody to apply to study abroad. Please note that some of our partner programs abroad, those schools might require different GPAs. For example, Creighton in Ireland at the University of Limerick, they require a 2.9. Creighton in Australia at the University of Sydney, they require a 3.0, but you do need that 2.5 here at Creighton baseline to apply. The next thing you need to know is that you need to be in sophomore standing, and I think a majority of nursing students do that first semester sophomore year, that sophomore fall. So you will be in sophomore standing, but it is possible to study abroad the summer between your freshman and sophomore years if you opt for that instead. You can't have any disciplinary sanctions active on your record, which means you cannot be on probation at the time of applying. And lastly, you need to be in good academic standing, which means you're making good progress towards your degree. The first program we wanted to highlight for you for summer 2021 and beyond is the Doctors in Italy Fellowship Program. It is an organization called Doctors in Italy that partners with John Cabot University in Rome. John Cabot is our semester partner program for the Creighton in Italy Rome program. The really neat thing about this summer program is that it's 5 weeks long, and you do get the opportunity to shadow physicians at a Roman hospital, and you can get that AAMC compliant shadowing credits towards that clinical experience. In addition to that, you'd be taking one 3-credit course about Rome. And the awesome thing about the John Cabot Rome courses is that they take you on excursions into the city. You get to meet other students who are studying abroad over the summer. You really get to connect with where you're shadowing for the summer. So this is a really cool opportunity. There's more information on our brochure website, so definitely check that out. The next summer program we wanted to show you was the Limerick Summer School. So the University of Limerick is our semester partner for Creighton in Ireland. It's in Limerick, Ireland. It offers a 3-week course in health studies, and you'd be living on campus. And let me just pull up last year's health studies offerings. The 2 classes Limerick Summer School offered for health were Developing Self as a Healthcare Practitioner and Physical Education Sports Science. So that's a cool way to go abroad for the summer and take some health-related courses, perhaps as an elective or what have you, that would count towards your nursing degree. The last summer program that we wanted to highlight for you is the summer program at Sacre Cuore. So Università Cattolica del Sacre Cuore is a partner university with our partner, ISEP. So you'd be going through ISEP Direct Summer Program to Sacre Cuore. They have campuses in many cities, but if you're going for their summer program in health studies, you'd be in Rome, Italy, living in an on-campus student residence. Depending on how many courses you take, it lasts from 2 to 6 weeks. Tuition and housing obviously changes depending on how long you want to stay. But last year, the 2 summer health studies classes were Global Health and Epidemiology, which is a very pertinent subject right now, and Health Policy and Management for Universal Coverage. So those, again, are really cool classes you can take while you're in Rome, studying abroad and working towards your degree over the summer. Lastly, I'm sure you've all heard about FLIPAs. So far at Creighton, people talk about it a lot. They're very popular options. FLIPA stands for Faculty-Led Programs Abroad, and we have a huge portfolio of FLIPAs available. What makes FLIPA special is that they are Creighton-run programs that go abroad between 1 and 6 weeks. Each program differs all around the world. You'd be taking a Creighton course, and you'd be in a group of Creighton students and taught by Creighton faculty. So while you're doing that coursework and studying and getting credits, you're also going on excursions abroad and seeing the site where you're studying abroad. Programs are filled quickly because it's a very popular option. We haven't finalized this coming year's FLIPAs yet, but generally the returning programs are usually Australia, Austria, England, Japan, Peru, Spain, but there are even more. Those are just some of our more popular ones. Typically, these take place over the summer, but some FLIPAs happen during spring break. So definitely keep your eyes peeled for information about FLIPAs once we finalize which ones are being offered for the coming year. That's a great way to go abroad if you feel that you don't want to go for an entire semester and maybe you don't want to go for a summer to a new university and study abroad that way. FLIPAs are very seamless for Creighton students since it's all Creighton. All right, application deadlines. So spring 2021, I'm assuming most of the attendees are freshmen. If not, if you're somehow able to do a spring, just note that that is October 1st. Summer 2021 term just opened, so you can now open applications for summer programs now, even though your application to us won't be due until March 1st. Feel free to take a look at what programs are open now and open an app if you're interested. Fall 2021, I think this is probably the most popular option to do your sophomore fall semester, which we'll talk about some programs later, but that application cycle won't actually open until December, so you'll have to hold off on applying for a bit, and that will be due March 1st for fall. All right, and so today's all about nursing and pre-health. So the program highlights you see here are all about programs that are very compatible with the nursing curriculum. Creighton and Ireland, both the Limerick campus and the Mary Immaculate College program is having an info session held by our partners over there at their university between 2:30 and 3 p.m. Creighton in Australia's, our partners there are presenting 3:30 to 4. And lastly, Creighton in China, which is a really cool program for nursing. The Beijing Center will be hosting an info session from 5 to 5:30. So if any of these semester-long options interest you, definitely tune in and get some information. You can access the Zoom links at creighton.edu/studyabroad/studyabroadfair. And just so you know, there are more semester nursing programs that are compatible with your requirements for those Managers Core, elective, and stats. But these ones are the ones we're featuring today. All right, so this was a lot of talking at you. We are now happy to take any questions you might have, whether that's deadline questions, program questions that I can answer, or curriculum questions, course questions that perhaps Geraldine could answer. If you have a question, feel free to type it in the chat or unmute yourself. Yeah, do you have any questions?
Hi, I was just wondering how many people, or wait, timeout, sorry. For, like say for like the Ireland trip or like any of the semester abroads, would you just go abroad with like sophomore students in the nursing, or would it be like people from other grades as well?
Yeah, definitely. So I think for our really popular semester programs for nursing, you will be with other nursing students, most likely, all in your sophomore fall, right? But there will be students from other majors, other colleges at Creighton who will go with you in your cohort. So it's not an all nursing program. They can take a lot of different classes at those places. So you'll get to meet people outside of nursing, which is cool. And not only that, but there will be other study abroad students from other universities all around the world, Europe, America, coming to, for example, the University of Limerick and studying alongside you, and you'll be able to meet Irish students too. So it's not an insulated Creighton group, you get to meet a ton of people.
Cool, that really helps. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Any other questions? Well, if no one else has any questions, let's see, you can always email us in the Global Engagement Office at studyabroadadvisor@creighton.edu. You could attend one of the other info sessions today and ask some questions about those programs. GEO is available for you to help you plan out, even though it seems so far if you're doing a semester next fall, it seems so far in the future. GEO is still happy to work with you right now to help you plan that out. And Geraldine, I know, would be happy to answer course questions you might have as you prepare. Studying abroad as a nursing student is a really amazing thing. I know a lot of nursing students come to Creighton for that opportunity to study abroad, even though the curriculum that you stick to is so tight sometimes. So we're really excited to make that work for you.
Kelly, can I just add one quick tip there?
Sure.
So I encourage you all to make sure that you have this conversation with your freshman advisor, who also leads your RSP section. So that is something to mention to them if you haven't had your first session with them here this first few weeks of the semester. And then you will meet with them in October as you begin a planning for the spring semester and looking at course registration. So make sure you have a plan with them for fall if that's what you're thinking you want to do, so you can have everything in order with your courses.
Yes, it's never too soon to plan, especially for nursing.
Right.
All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed today's intro presentation. Hopefully you have time to attend the other info sessions. We've got some great presenters from our partner universities with tons of exciting info. And also we have sessions all throughout the week, so take a look at our schedule online. But thank you so much for attending and taking the time to get started with studying abroad. Hope you have a good day.
Thank everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, you guys.
Bye-bye.